Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, a few days after I made my Who Needs a Novaflare video for the second time on 2025, and now we're at 2026, wow, they actually announced it for real this time. They announced it officially that Black Swan and Sparkle are going to get Novaflare. So I thought I would give this video to make my thoughts clear about these two units in a bit more depth and what I think they could change with their Novaflare and what really doesn't need to be changed. So this is 2.0 characters, like Black Swan and Sparkle were released in 2.0. They haven't said if they're gonna add like any other Novaflare characters, so I assume this is like their, quote-unquote headliners. These are the two most popular units that are gonna get Novaflared, and there might be other units instead of these two, because two is a little bit too few. If it's only the two of them, that would be I have a big thing to complain about. But either way, let's talk about Black Swan and Sparkle. So if you watched my Novaflare video, I think Sparkle definitely is a character that doesn't need Novaflare. I mean, she has a very clearly defined niche. She's the best at it. A burst SP generator. There are some things that are awkward in her kit a little, but it really doesn't need to be fixed compared to everyone else, especially in late 1.x characters like Argenti and Dr. Ratio. Those characters needed a lot more fixes than Sparkle has, because she is actually meta for a free character, and one of the best free characters, and one of the best 5 stars actually, I believe, in the entire game. And Black Swan, yeah, Black Swan definitely needed it. Black Swan is getting outclassed by Harmony units in her role as like a DOT third slot, which is really bad. And she also has some really awkward stuff in her kit that definitely doesn't need to exist in the big 2026, so I'm for this. Like in my rework video, I did say that she's in the chopping block. If she ends up getting a Novaflare, I'm not gonna complain at all, because there's a lot of flaws with her, and her meta relevance is continuing to plummet as new harmonies and new DOT units are gonna keep releasing. Okay, so let's talk about their kits actually in more detail, instead of just a bird's eye overview of why they need Novaflare or why they don't need Novaflare. So Sparkle, her buff duration, Dream Diver buff, the one that gives a lot of crit damage, only lasts for one turn, and at the start of the second turn it's gone. So if you're playing like Archer, it gets sometimes really awkward, where you're at Archer's turn, you're at 6 skill points and you're ready to skill spam, and if you go for another basic rotation on Archer, you just overcap on SP, but Sparkle's buff is not on, so you have to like delay it and then overcap in like 3 SP or something. So making her Dream Diver buff even just 2 turns is already a massive buff to Archer's rotations, because it might get a little awkward with him in some scenarios. I'm seeing a lot of people say that the Sparkle needs 100% action events, which isn't true. With the playstyle that she has with Archer and potentially other characters that are similar to Archer that are going to be coming to the meta with Elation, she definitely doesn't need 100% action events. The playstyle doesn't need it. Like, sure, you can make her a -1 speed setup, but you also have to consider infinite loop stuff, so you're going to make it exclusive to not include Sunday part of it, or you don't include harmonies just like Sunday did. And while that isn't a big deal, it does have some useful applications with Robin and stuff, and you're just gonna lose it. So, and again, you don't really need it. For the certain playstyle, 50% action events is almost the same as 100% anyway. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but for the sake of balancing, the 100% action events isn't gonna work like what you think with Bronya, because that would be impossible. That would encourage an infinite loop, which they would not be able to balance well, right? So for Sparkle, I think the best thing they can do is to fix her energy economy, so she doesn't rely on meshing cogs for fast SP generation, because that would just be an insane buff overall, not having to rely on meshing cogs that much for faster ult rotations. She can increase the duration of her Dream Diver buff, which would massively increase the comfort of running Archer and really smoothen out his rotations. I don't think she needs 100% action events for the specific playstyle that's like a complete overkill, and it's probably going to lead to more balancing problems than not. because infinite loops are a thing in this game. It can actually happen, so don't want to do that. And overall, I don't think Sparkle really needed a Novaflare. I mean, she's fine right now, but I'm not against fixing a couple of her issues. Like, it's not, her issues are not crippling enough, but they exist nonetheless, right? Oh boy. So there's a couple of things wrong with Black Swan. First of all, I think it's just from a pure numbers perspective, hers is pretty bad. Like, the amount of damage she provides to a DOT team is oftentimes just worse than having E1 Ron May, which is technically free because we got two, you know, gold companion spirits, and we might get new ones. You know, we might get a stellar, a golden spear chop update with this. We don't know just yet. There's, aside from the numbers thing, like, she just doesn't do quite enough damage to justify herself without, you know, Eidolons. She also has a really, the ult mechanic didn't age very well, because now that we are in 3.8 and we're reaching 4.0 with High Sealants and Kafka, most of the detonations are coming from not the enemies taking a turn, but from the enemies getting detonated by Kafka and High Sealants. And because of that, Arcana's the damage taken buff only applying when the enemies take a turn isn't actually buffing that much either. Like, I would say not even 50% of DOT's damage is getting buffed by it. So it's even worse than 20%. It's like somewhere around 5% maybe. Like, if you consider 75% of DOT detonations happen because of Kafka and High Sealants. So they could make that just a better debuff, just a better condition, and they could also increase the numbers of it, because truth be told, the multiplier is not very rare, so it doesn't even buff like 20% even if it works fully 100% uptime. And also, think her Arcana stacking is way too punishing. Like, it's either 50 or it's 1 and you feel cringe about yourself. They should make it like Currency Wars, where she doesn't consume 50 stacks of Arcana outright, she consumes only half of it, so that she at least has a consistent damage floor instead of having to run into the issues of just going back to 1 stack if you mess up her ult debuff, not like just even once, right? So that would give her some more comfort to play and give her some more power just because of her floor being very bad. Oh, speaking of Currency Wars, Sparkle does have a Currency Wars kit that is different from her current kit. Because in Sparkle's Currency Wars kit, she is able to get energy off field by the characters just attacking. That would actually be very in line with her. She would gain energy when the enemies when you consume SP instead of attacking, though. That would be really cool, actually. That would yeah, actually I think that's what they're gonna do, right? That's gotta be what they have to do. So that would be cool, yeah. That would be cool. I think that would be nice for Sparkle. Just bring some elements of her Currency Wars kit. As for Black Swan, I don't remember what she does in Currency Wars. Oh, she has like the Siren thing where you can buy blessings from the shop or something. No, she has a like personal UI. I don't remember what it does though. Aside from that, yeah, I guess you can give Black Swan better team amp, make her team amp from ult actually good, I think, and make it so that 50 Arcana stacks is not as hard and not as punishing when you mess it up. I think that's good, right? And just give her numbers, basically, I think is also just fine. You can touch the other. You don't have to touch the other stuff, just give her better numbers and that probably works. But for the sake of future proofing, I would love if her utility was a bit better. In terms of Eidolons, I remember Sparkle has good ones. Yeah, Sparkle does have good Eidolons. The only problem is her signature LC, but you know, they're rerunning Sunday 6, so I guess it's fine. I do hope, wait, that would be actually pretty fire, like if you put Sunday's LC in the Gold Companion Spirit Shop, that would be funny as hell. But I don't think they're gonna do that, because that would probably include Sunday getting put into the shop, which is not ideal, I would say. Anyway, Sparkle's Eidolons are good. Sparkle's LC Sparkle's LC is good, but with the team that she has right now, Sunday's LC ends up pulling ahead because, you know, skill point generation. Black Swan's LC is pretty good, okay. I don't think that needs any changing, or like, yeah. And Black Swan's Eidolons are actually pretty good too. I don't think you need to change much in her Eidolons. I think they're gonna change it regardless because they don't want to make Black Swan, you know, an E0 merchant. They're probably gonna do it like, you know, Jingliu, where E1 is actually where all the sauce is at, you know, like they did with Blade. If you don't have him at E1, he's probably a lot worse than what you think he is, but at E1 he's actually pretty good. You know, same with Jingliu too. At E0 she feels a little meh, but at E1 she absolutely pops off with her Novaflare. So maybe that's what they're gonna do. Maybe they're gonna put the juice for Black Swan in E1, which is, you know, that's good by me. That's cool, fine. You know, give some people that pulled E0 on debut another reason to pull, I suppose. But it's not like Black Swan had bad Ivans in the first place. I think they're actually one of the better parts of her kit. So yeah, that's all my thoughts about these two Novaflare characters. I hope there's more, because it'd be really weird if it's just these two. I assume this is just the you know, headliners. These are the most popular characters that are gonna Novaflare, so they're gonna advertise it. So hopefully we get at least 4 characters, just like the last time. These are definitely characters that I would have, yeah, you know, Black Swan Novaflare I think was fair. I would have done that too. But Sparkle Novaflare I don't think was very necessary, because truth be told, she does have a meta team, she does have her place in the game, she does something that no other character can do, and it's actually a relevant thing in the meta, so I don't think she needed it too much. I think people that are wishing for 100% action advance don't really know what they're asking for. They just think, oh, 50% is less than 100%. Yeah, sure, whatever. Black Swan definitely needed it. Her numbers are just too low and she has too many awkward stuff in her kit. And even with her meta team archetype, she doesn't end up being the best most of the time. So unfortunately, this is just, yeah, you know what, that's fair. And yeah, very excited. I hope to see what happens with Sparkle and Black Swan. I'm more interested in you know, Black Swan, because she's technically just a weaker character, and we'll see, right? I'm very excited. Novaflare is finally happening, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this short video too, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.